ABC 7 Eyewitness News, Southern California's news leader.
Hey, we gotta be careful. This thing's still explosive.
Now on Eyewitness News at 5, breaking news. A small plane crashes into a Southern California neighborhood, killing several people on board. Families asleep in their beds, awoken by a fireball.
All I could see was fire, and the roof of the house was torn off.
You could see the night sky from our living room.
The flash woke me up, and the feeling that immense heat is pretty crazy. It's probably one most traumatic experience I've been through, and I've been in the military 13 years.
The plane crashed right into a home, and the boom was heard for miles. We have new details just in about the music industry executive and the drummer on board that plane. From the investigation to an in-depth look at plane crashes this year, we have live team coverage. Eyewitness News at 5 starts right now.
This is Eyewitness News with live breaking news.
Hello, I'm Michelle Fisher.
I'm Marc Brown. This is Eyewitness News at 5, live on ABC 7, Hulu, and wherever you stream. Home surveillance video just into our newsroom right here, showing the fiery explosion moments after that plane went down shortly before 4 a.m. We've learned that 6 passengers were on the plane. The National Transportation Safety Board says the number of deaths is not known, but Sound Talent Group confirms 3 of its employees were on board and killed in that crash. One of those victims was the company's co-founder, Dave Shapiro, who's listed as the owner of the plane. Another 8 people on the ground suffering injuries, 5 of whom were hospitalized for smoke inhalation. At least 100 residents have been displaced because of this crash, 1 home destroyed. According to authorities, the small jet took off last night from Teterboro, New Jersey, about 6 miles from Manhattan. It made a stop for fuel in Wichita, Kansas, and it was scheduled to arrive at the Montgomery-Gibbs Executive Airport in San Diego at 3:47 a.m. But the plane crashed moments before.
And right now, NTSB crews are already on scene with more federal investigators on the way.
From the investigation to the musicians on board and the people who heard the explosion, we have a lot to unpack here. Let's get straight to Eyewitness News reporter Jessica DeNova. She is live on the scene in San Diego County, kicking off our live team coverage. Jessica.
Ashley Mackey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Got to check that one out. Well, we are monitoring the breaking news out of San Diego. Several people are dead after a small plane crash. More investigators now arriving on scene as we speak.
And we're hearing more and more about plane crashes lately, but how common are they? We have the new NTSB data.
And this weekend will mark 5 years since the murder of George Floyd at the hands of a Minnesota police officer. His death sparked a police reform movement across the country, including here in Southern California. But has police policy really changed? We're taking an in-depth look next.
The ABC 7 AccuWeather forecast is sponsored by your SoCal Chevy dealers. It's the Memorial Day event. Time for big holiday savings on Equinox.
This is Eyewitness News with live breaking news.
Now on Eyewitness News at 5:30, people in San Diego waking up to an explosion. Home surveillance video here capturing the moment of impact after a private plane crashed shortly before 4 a.m. Welcome back. I'm Marc Brown.
I'm Michelle Fisher. Here's what we know right now. San Diego officials had earlier reported 2 people died in that crash, but just moments ago we heard from San Diego Fire now saying 6 are presumed dead. The National Transportation Safety Board now saying the number of deaths, again, we know 6 presumed dead. Sound Talent Group says 3 of its employees, including co-founder Dave Shapiro, were killed. Shapiro listed as the owner of that plane. Another 8 people are injured, 5 being hospitalized with smoke inhalation. The crash happened just north of San Diego in one of the largest military housing units in the world, only a few miles from the Montgomery-Gibbs Executive Airport. At least 100 residents are displaced this evening, and 1 home was completely destroyed.
The crash in San Diego, just the latest in a string of recent plane accidents in the United States. But compared to the last several years, the number of crashes is actually down so far in 2025. Take a look at this chart by the NTSB that shows the number of overall accidents since 2018. The yellow section represents the number of accidents involving fatalities. So far this year, there have been 318 non-fatal accidents in the United States. In each of the previous 4 years, there have been an average of about 1,200 non-fatal accidents. A big percentage of the plane crash deaths in 2025 are due to the January mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army helicopter. 67 people killed in the nation's capital. Data from the FAA shows there have been an alarming number of close calls around Washington, D.C.'s Ronald Reagan National Airport. The investigation in today's deadly plane crash in San Diego is just beginning. Stick with Eyewitness News as we get details about what caused that plane to go down. We'll bring you the latest on air on abc7.com and on our free ABC7 Los Angeles app.
Switching gears now, this Sunday marks 5 years since George Floyd was shot and killed by former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. The murder sparking Black Lives Matter protests across the nation and reforms in police policy. Eyewitness News reporter Kevin Osbeck joins us once again with a deeper look at those changes since Floyd was killed by the officer actually kneeling on his neck for about 7 minutes, as memory serves. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, your memory is dead on, Mark and Michelle. It was May 25th, 2020, when a Minnesota police officer knelt on George Floyd's neck and killed him. So what has changed in terms of how police interact with many of the people they serve in many of the communities right around L.A.? Well, some say nothing. And many also believe racism is still rampant within law enforcement as well.
It's nice to see him giving back. Well, we have more news coming up on Eyewitness News at 6. Here's Jovana Lara with a preview. Jovana?
He sure is popular, too. All right, ahead at 6, our live coverage on the deadly plane crash continues. Plus, all new at 6, what's convenient for some has become a nuisance for others. How a ghost kitchen has become a problem at a local neighborhood to the point of some fearing for their safety. And residents in Rancho Palos Verdes will soon have an essential service they lost due to the land movement. These stories and breaking news as it happens on Eyewitness News at 6.